You know, I think the one thing that everyone can agree on is that this is not a normal Christmas. You may see decorations up in the plaza, but people have really had to get creative in finding ways to carry out those typical Christmas traditions we see this time of year. Here in Old San Juan, the mayor tells me San Juan has about 70% or 70% of the people, rather, have power. But when you go into the interior, a bit of a different story. I spoke with the mayor of Utuado, an area there in the interior. He tells me about 70% of his people do not have power. And when we were in Utuado, we met one woman. Her name is Maricela. Maria destroyed her home, forced her family of 4 to move into her father's home. They don't have power. They don't have a generator. They don't have water. It's not the ideal Christmas. She says this time of year they'd be roasting a pig. They're not even gathering because the hardships, the challenges of everyday life make it difficult to celebrate anything. And when I asked her about Christmas, she says it's just going to be another day. Take a look at my exchange with her.
There's a lot of people that still don't have water in their house, and I really think, okay, if I'm this way, how are they gonna pass Christmas, New Year's?
So what would the one thing be that you want for Christmas?
I want to be at my house.
George, she just wants to be at her home. I mean, it is not a major request. She wants her home to have a roof so she can live in it. Yesterday, I was with Santa here in San Juan, and even listening to the exchanges he was having with children. Children weren't just talking about what's on the list or the elves or Rudolph. They were talking to Santa about Hurricane Maria. And to give you an update on another part of the island, I was in the southeast part of the island this week as well. And, you know, as you mentioned, you and I were here for Irma. I spoke to one family that hasn't had power since the day before Irma. And we are 3 months out of Maria. So that's more than 100 days without power on the island of Puerto Rico for some of the U.S. citizens living here.
Leyla, you're reporting. You've shown the reality, against, what government figures would say about the death toll. You've shown the reality of the death toll, right. In fact. You've shown the reality of power. The government would say a certain amount of the island has power, but our reporting through you and your team there shows otherwise. The question that I have for you, do people find that sense of frustration, with, I guess, government officials or whatever, trying to paper over the reality of the situation, people there frustrated and determined not to be forgotten in all of this, given what happened there?
Right. It's actually kind of symbolic. When people say we lack power, they're not just talking about electricity. I mean, yes, many people don't have, the light switch doesn't do anything when they turn it on, but also I think a lot of people feel powerless and feel forgotten. When we were in different parts of the island, one of the major frustrations is the fact that what's happening in San Juan, what tourists see, what government officials see when they come visit isn't what's happening in the interior part of the island. And yeah, they want to make sure they're not forgotten, and especially during the holidays.